KPSM arrests 3 suspects and confiscates firearm during early morning control. Traveling to Anguilla for summer festivities 2026. CPS gears up to celebrate World Breastfeeding Week 2026. Cassandra Marlin Webster, CFO, is monitoring the financials and protecting sustainability of the SZV. From the island of St. Martin, this is SXM Daily News for July 31st, 2026. As part of the police force of St. Martin's continued efforts to combat the illegal possession of firearms and reduce firearm-related violence on the island, KPSM officers arrested 3 individuals during an early morning operation on Friday, July 31st, 2026. At approximately 1:10 a.m., on Friday, July 31st, 2026, the Central Police Dispatch received information regarding 2 males, both dressed entirely in black clothing, who were reportedly hanging out in the area of several closed food stalls located at Walter Plants Square on Front Street. In response to the report, several police patrols were dispatched to the location. Upon arrival, officers observed 2 male individuals dressed in black clothing, together with 1 female standing near one of the closed food stalls. As officers approached, one of the male suspects immediately fled toward the rear of the stalls. One of the responding officers pursued the suspect on foot. After a brief search of the area, the suspect was located hiding behind one of the stalls and was taken into custody. During a subsequent search of the immediate area, officers discovered a firearm concealed underneath a garbage bin. The weapon was immediately confiscated. Based on the circumstances surrounding the incident, all 3 individuals were arrested for violations of the firearms ordinance. The arrested suspects have been identified by their initials as AAC, SAE, and DSH. The 2 male suspects are known to law enforcement, as both have previously been arrested for offenses involving the illegal possession of firearms. All 3 suspects were transported to the Phillipsburg police station, where they remain in custody pending further investigation. The recovered firearm has been confiscated for forensic examination. KPSM remains fully committed to its ongoing fight against the illegal possession of firearms and firearm-related violence. The removal of illegal weapons from the streets continues to be one of the force's highest operational priorities in ensuring the safety and security of the community. The investigation into this incident remains ongoing. The police force of St. Martin, KPSM, is actively investigating an armed robbery that occurred on Wednesday, July 29th, 2026, at a business establishment located on Union Road, a short distance from the French border. At approximately 3 p.m., the Central Police Dispatch received several calls reporting an ongoing robbery at a business situated near the roundabout on Union Road. In response, several police patrols and detectives were immediately dispatched to the location. The preliminary investigation indicated that 3 male suspects, all dressed in dark-colored clothing, arrived at the business in an older model gray-colored vehicle. 2 of the suspects exited the vehicle and entered the establishment, while the 3rd suspect remained inside the vehicle. Upon realizing that a robbery was taking place, the employees of the business managed to escape through the rear of the establishment. The suspects subsequently robbed the business and fled the scene in the waiting vehicle in an unknown direction before police arrived. Detectives and members of the forensic department processed the scene and have since launched an extensive investigation into the incident. At this stage, investigators are reviewing available evidence and following up on information received. KPSM is appealing to members of the public who may have witnessed the incident or who may have information that could assist in identifying the suspects or the vehicle involved to come forward. Anyone with information is urged to contact the police force of St. Martin by calling +1 721 542 2222 or the anonymous tip line at 9300. Information can also be provided directly to the detective department. The police force of St. Martin reminds the community that public cooperation remains vital in solving violent crimes and bringing those responsible to justice. The investigation into this armed robbery is ongoing. Further information will be released when it becomes available. The Immigration and Border Protection Services, IBPS, of St. Martin wishes to inform all persons planning to travel from St. Martin to Anguilla for the upcoming Anguilla Summer Festival 2026 to ensure that they own the correct and valid travel documentation before making their journey. Due to the anticipated increase in travel during the festivities, travelers are strongly encouraged to verify their documentation and applicable immigration requirements before arriving at the departure point. Valid passport required. According to the Immigration Department of Anguilla, all visitors must be in possession of a valid passport. Travelers are therefore advised to check the validity of their passport before purchasing a ticket or arriving for boarding. A St. Martin-issued residence permit, identification document, or other local immigration document does not replace the requirement for a valid passport for travel to Anguilla. Visa requirements. Travelers whose nationality requires a visa to enter Anguilla and who intend to stay overnight must apply for the required visa at least two weeks before their intended arrival. Travelers are strongly advised to determine whether a visa is required for their specific nationality well in advance of their planned travel date. Traveling to Anguilla by sea. The Anguilla Immigration Department has specifically advised that all vessels must enter Anguilla through an official port of entry. Passengers and their travel documents must be presented to immigration at Blowing Point Ferry Terminal or Marine Base, Sandy Ground. Vessel owners are encouraged to use an agent where necessary to assist with clearance. The use of Sail Clear is strongly encouraged to facilitate and speed up processing. Vessel owners and captains must also bring printed copies of their documentation and passenger list in duplicate, in addition to using Sail Clear. Passenger lists must be fully completed and submitted to Immigration and Border Protection Services of St. Martin. Important notice to travelers from St. Martin. Travelers are reminded that having purchased a ticket or having made a reservation on a vessel does not guarantee that they will be permitted to travel or enter Anguilla. Border immigration officers may verify travel documentation before a passenger is permitted to board a vessel departing from St. Martin. Passengers who are unable to demonstrate that they possess the required travel documentation and applicable visa entry authorization may be denied boarding and prevented from traveling to Anguilla. Furthermore, people who arrive in Anguilla without satisfying the entry requirements may be denied entry by the Anguilla Immigration Department. Do not wait until the day of travel. To avoid unnecessary delays, denied boarding, or possible refusal of entry, IBPS strongly encourages all travelers to check your passport, check whether you require a visa, apply for your visa in time. If required, ensure all required documents are available. Verify your documents before arriving at the departure point. Travelers should also ensure that any accompanying children and other members of their traveling party have the required travel documentation. Traveler's responsibility. It is the responsibility of each traveler to ensure that he or she meets the entry requirements of Anguilla before commencing travel. The Immigration and Border Protection Services of St. Martin is issuing this notice as a precautionary measure to help travelers avoid situations in which they may arrive at a departure point without the necessary documentation and subsequently be denied boarding or travel to Anguilla and be denied entry by the Anguilla immigration authorities. Please do not assume that because you have previously traveled to Anguilla or because you hold a valid Sint Maarten residence permit, that you will automatically be permitted to travel or enter. For additional information, the Collective Prevention Services, CPS, in collaboration with the Sint Maarten Medical Centre, SMMC, and the White and Yellow Cross Care Foundation, WICCF, is pleased to announce a new and exciting approach to celebrating breastfeeding during World Breastfeeding Week, WBW 2026. WBW is observed annually at a global level from August 3rd to 7. The global campaign is to raise awareness about the critical role of breastfeeding in ensuring the health and well-being of both mothers and children. For the past 10 years, CPS has hosted a breastfeeding photo competition that shows the beauty, strength, and bond created through breastfeeding. The Collective Prevention Services, CPS, in collaboration with the Sint Maarten Medical Centre, SMMC, and the White and Yellow Cross Care Foundation, WICCF, is pleased to announce a new and exciting approach to celebrating breastfeeding during World Breastfeeding Week, WBW 2026. WBW is observed annually at a global level from August 3rd to 7. The global campaign is to raise awareness about the critical role of breastfeeding in ensuring the health and well-being of both mothers and children. For the past 10 years, CPS has hosted a breastfeeding photo competition that shows the beauty, strength, and bond created through breastfeeding. The campaign will run until August 7th, 2026, with the photo receiving the highest level of community engagement being recognized with a special prize. More importantly, the campaign aims to celebrate breastfeeding, encourage positive conversations, and inspire mothers by sharing real stories from across the island. The initiative aligns with this year's World Breastfeeding Week theme: Breastfeeding for a Sustainable Start to Life. Strengthen what works. Through this campaign, CPS and its partners hope to continue strengthening community support for breastfeeding while highlighting the importance of creating environments where mothers feel encouraged and empowered. The public is encouraged to follow the Collective Prevention Services, Government of Sint Maarten, Sint Maarten Medical Centre, and White and Yellow Cross Care Foundation Facebook pages for campaign details and upcoming World Breastfeeding Week activities. For additional information, please contact Collective Prevention Services, TEL 721 542 3003 522 4163. Breastfeeding is a natural and powerful act that provides unmatched health, nutritional, and emotional benefits. According to the World Health Organization, WHO, supporting parents, especially mothers, is essential to giving every child the best possible start in life. Breastfeeding is a cornerstone of that support.
Are you SXM insured? Do you have a valid medical insurance status? SXM is cardless. Request your My SXM account today and enter the virtual office of SXM. Go to sxv.sx and sign up now.
SXM, yeah. Your social and health insurances.
Cassandra Marlin Webster, Chief Financial Officer of SZV. Now you know, in an interview with Valerie Van Putten, as part of monitoring the financials and protecting the financial sustainability. Course is being done by reviewing different controls within the organization, looking at policies and procedures, looking at legislation as well, and, along the lines of what we have in place, trying to accommodate requests in accordance with current procedures. For example, if a medical service is provided locally, then we would support the system to allow the treatment to take place locally.
As part of the managing the financials and protecting the financial sustainability, what of course is being done is reviewing different controls within the organization, looking at policies, looking at procedures, looking at legislation as well. And along the lines of what we have in place, we try to accommodate requests in accordance to the current procedures that we have. So, for example, if a medical service is provided locally, then we would support the system to allow the treatment to take place locally. If locally that treatment can be allowed, and if it's an urgent case, or even if it's elective cases, the cases are reviewed, and based on the outcome of the review, then it's determined what the next steps would be for that particular client or patient. So whether or not the patient can get the service here locally, or if that patient would have to then be flown out for treatment. But it goes through a managed process where it can help us contain and control the costs as well, and still offer the quality of care that's required.
So we still can go. I know that we are sent to Colombia, we are sent to Curacao, and we are sent to the Netherlands. But I'm talking about if I happen to be, let's say, on vacation, or I went to visit a family member and I get sick. I cannot go to SZV and says, well, I'm insured in St. Martin. Can I be admitted, or can I go for treatment here on the island?
It depends on the kind of illness and what happens. Usually what we advise for persons that are traveling to take travel insurance, because we cover the cost of illness in Dutch St. Martin, or if you're referred abroad, it's done via the procedures here. So that is why we do encourage persons and even advise that when you're traveling, to take travel insurance to cover those types of incidental cases, albeit in this case a medical situation. And if there's some uncertainty with regard to whether or not it would still be covered by SZV, then you can always contact SZV, but the advice would be to, especially once you're traveling, to ensure that you take out the travel insurance to help with covering the medical expenses.
Will we be reimbursed?
So it depends on what the medical situation was, and it would be something that would be reviewed to see if it falls within the realm of what SZV would cover. Correct.
All right. Let's talk financial strategy and sustainability. I think that's more up your alley. SZV's 2026-2028 strategic direction places financial sustainability at its core, built on 3 pillars: internal optimization, healthcare cost management, and revenue enhancement. Talk to us about that.
Yes. So definitely when we talk about financial sustainability, it is looking at what can we do today to ensure that the obligations that we need to cover today and to safeguard the funds today can be put in place, and also can we safeguard the funds on a long term as well. So when we look at sustainability, it's not just looking at meeting obligations of today and ensuring that you can get the treatment or the service today, but also how far into the future can that happen as well. And it's a balance of different elements. So it's also what we put into the funds as well, because there are contributions that we're asking for, contributions from within different areas within the community to place into the funds, so that helps to protect the individuals and those that are entitled through the funds themselves. So when we look at sustainability, it's always important to think of what do we say yes to today that can still allow us to say yes tomorrow and the time to come as well.
Okay. When people hear financial sustainability from a public institution, they sometimes worry it is a polite way of saying benefits will be cut or contributions will go up. What is your take or your honest answer to that concern, and what does financial sustainability actually mean for the insured citizen?
Okay, so what it means for the insured citizen is a sense of comfort in knowing that if there's an emergency, if you fall ill or someone you love fall ill, that you can go to a doctor and get care. If you reach the age of retirement and you apply for your pension, that we can actually pay that pension as well. So for persons who have contributed within the community and contributed to the fund, that contribution can also then be, you can benefit from that contribution in times when you're most vulnerable, in times when you most need it, and maybe not even you, it can be a loved one. It can be a friend as well. So it can be the neighbor, but at the time when it's needed the most, it's us ensuring that what is being put into the funds and the premiums that's being paid, that we can secure and safeguard and guarantee that you'll be able to get the social or health insurance and benefits that you depend on us to receive.
Offer.
Correct.
Okay. Have you been able to pay every pensioner that has applied for pension?
Well, every pensioner that has applied and that's entitled to pension, definitely we have we even have a monthly schedule that's being posted to allow pensioners to be able to see when pension will be paid out. We're able to meet our commitments and our obligations as it relates to the pensioners, the entitlements of the pensioners, and like clockwork on a monthly basis, we ensure that the processes are followed to guarantee and to make sure that the pensioners are paid.
There was a time when certain pensioners were complaining that they don't get paid on time, or government workers get paid on the 25th, but they get paid on the last day of the month. Has that changed? Is there a specific day that everyone gets paid, or is it different days that the pension is put on their account?
Well, there's a specific schedule that's placed with regard to the pension payments. This schedule applies primarily to those that are being paid locally. If there are pensioners residing abroad and needs to be paid, there may be some deviation in the time frame with regard to the payment due to other factors outside of our control. So the local payments happen based on the schedule that is published on a monthly basis. The international, I'll call it international payments, or non-local payments, those are paid on a monthly basis as well, but taking into consideration the possible additional time frame that's needed for the transaction to between
Okay.
from when it leaves our account to when it gets to their international accounts as well.
So once you put it on the account, it doesn't always get on the account the same day, in other words, or at the same time.
It's not within the
varies.
control. Yeah, that's not within the control of SZV.
Oh, okay. It's the
how
banks.
quickly
Yeah.
quickly the international payments or the banks internationally process those payments as well. But we do send out the payments on a monthly basis.
Okay.
Now for the weather forecast, tonight through Saturday midday. Partly cloudy to cloudy with scattered showers. Isolated thunderstorms are possible. Surface winds, tonight through Saturday midday. Easterly to southeasterly with a gentle to moderate breeze at 8 to 15 mpr. State of the sea. Slight to moderate, wave swells, 2 to 5 feet. Outlook through Sunday midday, partly cloudy to cloudy with scattered showers. Isolated thunderstorms are possible. And now your 3-day forecast.
SZV, your social and health insurances. SZV, your social and health insurances.
Are you SZV insured? Do you have a valid medical insurance status? SZV is cardless. Request your My SZV account today and enter the virtual office of SZV. Go to szv.sx and sign up now.
SZV, yeah, your social and health insurances.
Willemstad. The Curaçao Football Federation, FFK, is facing important decisions about its financial transparency, governance structure, and technical future following the departure of key officials and uncertainty surrounding national team coach Dick Advocaat. Under Advocaat's leadership, Curaçao reached a historic sporting achievement by qualifying for the World Cup. His contribution has been widely recognized, but any future cooperation must be based on clear and formal agreements. The FFK has not yet issued an official position on a possible contract extension for Advocaat. With the federation currently led by an acting president and facing internal questions, it remains unclear whether the current leadership has sufficient support to make a long-term decision regarding the technical direction of the national team. If FFK wants to continue working with Advocaat, the board should first establish internal agreement about the conditions and responsibilities involved in a new contract. The acting president now faces the challenge of leading an organization where two key figures are leaving. Financial questions remain unanswered, and speculation continues about possible agreements regarding the future technical staff. To restore confidence, the Federation must take several concrete steps. First, clubs should immediately receive a complete financial overview of the World Cup campaign, including revenues, expenses, and outstanding obligations. Second, an independent audit should be conducted covering FFK finances, sponsorship agreements, government contributions, merchandise sales, travel and accommodation costs, and any payments involving connected organizations such as Blue Wave Curaçao. Third, the final financial position of Stichting Blue Wave Curaçao should be obtained and made public. Finally, all agreements regarding the technical leadership of the national team should be formally documented and communicated. The departure of Dogger does not only require an administrative handover, it requires full transparency about the decisions, contracts, and financial commitments made during his period at the Federation. Curaçao's football achievements have created enormous pride on the island. The next challenge for FFK is ensuring that sporting success is matched by strong governance and public trust. This is our SXM Daily Newscast. Thank you for joining us.